Guys, how freaking cool are these? These are 3D printed Absolute Batman logo and then this awesome Batman picture. I'll make sure I will give close-ups for both of those right now as I'm talking to you guys. But these came from a fan of the channel, Chuck. Chuck, thank you so much. And if you guys did not know, Chuck has his own channel all focused on 3D printing. It's called the Forge Syndicate. It'll be linked down in the description below. But these are so stinking cool. And the detail on the Batman one is freaking amazing. So Chuck, thank you so much. So cool. Such great additions to the set. Look at that. Freaking awesome. All right, guys. Just want to show those off and thank Chuck before we dive into today's video. But let's go ahead and dive in to today's video. What is going on, comic book fans? And welcome to another Final Order Cutoff highlights video. I'm no longer gonna call this the recommendations and speculation show, even though that is what it's still going to be. But I think just simplifying it to Final Order Cutoff highlights video is probably the best way to go. You guys let me know down in the comments below. But guys, I take the pain out of Final Order Cutoff for you because I go through every single book that's on this weekend's Final Order Cutoff and find all the books and all the covers that I think you guys have to know about. Now, granted, this is my own opinion. You guys should be doing your own research. There are links down to some great Final Order Cutoff sites down in the description below. And you guys can peruse every single book and every single cover and pick out what you think are the best picks for yourself, for your personal collection, or any books that you think are worthy of speculating on and trying to make this hobby fund itself, because that is a great thing to do. I am terrible at it. I really am, because I want to put everything in my PC. I just want to keep it all for myself. I hate selling books, but you gotta do it sometimes. What else do I need to tell you guys before we dive into all the amazing covers? So there are 30 covers that I found, or actually over 30 covers that I found on this weekend's Final Order Cutoff that are just truly freaking amazing. There are 6 SPEC books, and I believe 5 new number ones that you guys need to know about, so I don't want to waste too much time in this preamble, but there are some other things that you guys need to know. One of the big things, any book that I think is spec worthy will have a nice little logo next to it that says spec worthy on it. That's a simple, easy way for me to call out any spec covers as I'm going along. And just in case I forget while I'm talking about them, at least there'll be a nice notification on screen that I think those books are spec worthy. What else? You guys should be doing your own research. Make sure you guys are checking other comic book speculation sites for any spec books. The ones that I suggest are the Comic Book Frontier, linked down in the description below, and coverprice.com. They both are fantastic places for Final Order Cutoff speculation. And don't forget Left Taros. Left Taros is an Instagram influencer. He puts out his stuff on Instagram, but also writes the article over at coverprice.com. So there's that. There's also the fact that I record this video early. I record this video on Thursday. Today is Thursday, Halloween, which is Thursday, October 31st of 2024. And all the publishers have until tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern to lock in what books are actually going to be on this weekend's Final Order Cutoff. So that means they can add or remove books after I finish recording this video. So do your own research. Just another reason why you guys have to be doing your own research. This weekend's Final Order Cutoff. The Final Order Cutoff order deadline dates is November 4th. That's right. We're saying the month November. We're getting now it's closer to 2025, which is, man, time really flies when you get older. So that is the last day that you guys can get your Final Order Cutoff orders in by. November 4th of 2024. I believe that is everything. If I missed anything, I'll make sure I'll talk about it later in the video, but that is this video, Final Order Cutoff highlights. So let's start this off with checking out all the amazing covers that I found on this weekend's Final Order Cutoff. Are you guys ready to dive into all these covers? Because there are so many that are going to blow your pants off. And hopefully I'm showing some of these covers to you guys for the first time. You can be just as excited as I was when I saw these covers. So let's go ahead and dive into the first one. And that is Void Rivals, issue number 14. Now this is the cover E variant. It's the 1 in 50 ratio variant done by Salvin Repos. totally butchered your name, but this has Hot Rod on it. Hot Rod is one of my favorite characters because he was the like main character in the Transformers movies from the 1980s or whatever. That movie is so good. It's so good. And Hot Rod was just, I don't know, he was my hero back then, even bigger than Optimus Prime. Now guys, next up is Universal Monsters Frankenstein issue number 4. Now this up on screen right now is the cover B, but there's also a cover D, which is the 1:25 ratio variant, which is black and white. It's done by Jenny Frison, and I gotta tell you, I like the 1:25 a little bit more than the cover B. The black and white just makes it a little more spooky. All right, guys, next up is might be one of my favorite covers on this weekend's Final Order Cutoff. This is, again, is for Universal Monsters issue number 4 with the cover F, which is the 1:75 ratio variant done by Maria Wolf. Now, I've said before on the channel, I am not a huge fan of hers, but man, this cover is so good. I like the hole in his cheek, and he's got the green drool coming down and the electricity coming off him. It is just absolutely fantastic. Now, before we go to the next cover, I would say this is probably a pretty good spec buy because Maria Wolf's popularity is increasing, and this cover is just really, really cool. Now, next up is another spec pick. This is Gromit's issue number 6 with the cover B variant, which is a 1:10 ratio variant done by Kevin Cross. I don't like this cover. I love this comic book. This comic book is so good. But this cover, I don't know, I just don't care for the artwork, but these 1:10 B covers have been selling pretty well on the secondary market. The next up is a great cover. This is The Flash, issue number 15, the cover A, done by Mike Del Mundo. I am not shy about my love for this guy's artwork, and this cover is so good. Especially if you pay attention and really look at all the little elements on the cover, it makes it better and better. Now guys, next up is Detective Comics issue number 1091, the cover B variant done by Bruno Redondo. You hear Redondo, you almost automatically buy it because it's so good, and this cover is freaking awesome. All right, guys, next up is The Amazing Spider-Man issue number 63 with the 8 Deaths of Spider-Man variant done by Scotty Young. He's doing a variant for every single issue of this 8 Deaths of Spider-Man, and he's being killed differently, everyone. It's so good. The next up is Superman issue number 20, the cover B variant done by Dan Panosian. It's Panosian. You gotta buy it. It's so good, and this one is fantastic. Next up is Uncanny X-Men issue number 7 with the 1:50 ratio variant, I should say Virgin ratio variant, done by Mark Brooks, and it's really good. And now I will say some of the characters look a little different, like Rogue in the background, and Jubilee has like a weird, like kind of big head but tiny body, but let's be honest, this cover is really good. Next up, Uncanny X-Men issue number 7 with the Marvel vs. Capcom variant done by Bengus. This is another really good one. I showed the Wolverine on last week's video, and this one right here with Rogue is really good. I believe there's another one on this weekend's Final Order Cutoff, but I didn't care for it, so I'm not showing it to you guys. Next up, Green Arrow issue number 18 with the cover C foil Virgin variant done by Gillian March. It's not his best, but man, I love this duo of Black Canary and Green Arrow. It's over there. I was going to grab the sketch I had done by Ben Caldwell. It's of those two characters. They're like one of my favorite couples in comics, and this cover is just, it's highlighting that. She's like pulling back his hood. He's holding her. It's so good. Next up, The Flash, issue number 15 with the cover C variant done by DK Ruan. So good. I like it because he's obviously the Flash, so he's eating really fast. There's all these bowls and plates around him, and all the people around him are so mad because probably they had to like bring over so much stuff, and they're annoyed that he's eating so fast. It doesn't matter. This cover is fantastic. Next up, we got 2 covers. This is Justice League Unlimited issue number 1 with the cover M variant. This is obviously done by Jim Lee. I shouldn't say obvious because it wasn't obvious to me at first, but this is also a cover L, which is the 1:250 ratio variant, which is a black and white just of the same cover. And yeah, done by Jim Lee. It's really, really cool. Now next up is Harley Quinn issue number 45 with the cover D, which is a 1:25 ratio variant done by Robin Higginbottom. That is a fantastic last name, Higginbottom. So good, and this is just a gorgeous Harley Quinn cover. She's not super slutty, she's doing something pretty cool, and she looks fantastic. Now next up is X Factor issue number 5 with the variant cover in the 1:100 Virgin ratio variant done by Jenny Frison. This is probably one of my favorite Frisons over like the last 2 months. It's really good. I can't say favorite Frizzen ever because there's so many good Frizzen covers. But this one, probably my favorite over the last 2 months. Now, next up is a really cool cover. This is Storm issue number 3 with the cover A, done by Mateus Manhini. Why I like this? Because they both look really great, Storm and Rogue. But if you look at them, they're smiling. How often do we get a cover with the characters actually like doing like something that makes them smile? And this is just really cool. All right, guys. Next up is Dazzler issue number 4 with the variant in the 1 in 50 Virgin ratio variant, done by Jenny Frizzen. Now, if you compare this to the X Factor cover, this is just not as good. It's decent, it's okay, but it's just, I don't know, something is missing about this cover to make it really great. All right, guys, next up we have Power Girl issue number 15 with the cover B variant, done by Jeff DeCall. This is so gorgeous. This is in the same line as Absolute Wonder Woman cover that he did, and it just has a certain design element to it that is just so good, and Power Girl looks fantastic. The next up is Power Girl issue number 15. Now, this is the cover C variant, done by Tiago da Silva. Also really good, but I definitely prefer the Jeff DeCall over this one. Now, next is my favorite cover coming out this week, or not coming out this week, on Final Order Cutoff this week. This is Black Canary, Best of the Best, issue number 1 with the cover E, which is the 1 in 50 ratio variant, done by Dan Hipp. Now, this is not for everyone. This is not a spec pick, even though it possibly could be, because this is probably going to be like a title that's not going to have a large order to it, even though it is going to be written by Tom King. Black Canary is somewhat of a popular character. This is the first issue of this series, which is going to be a mini-series, but this cover is fantastic. So maybe this cover won't be super available, which could add a little bit of spec to it because it will be a little bit harder to get. But the cover, guys, is just so good. If you look at the little honey bottle, it's so great because A, it's the shape of Batman, but it also says Sweet Vengeance Honey, which is so freaking cool. And then you got Green Arrow on her boot, and you got Batgirl on the mug. It's just those little elements that Dan Hipp adds to it that's just so good. Love this cover. I like the bright pink background. Everything about this cover I freaking love. I mean, come on, Dan Hipp. There's another Dan Hipp up there. There's Dan Hipp everywhere. But let's continue. Next up is Black Canary, Best of the Best, issue number 1 with the cover C variant, done by Otto Schmidt. Now, to really enjoy this cover, you got to look at every single variation of Black Canary that Otto Schmidt has done, and so many of them are so good. He's even done some of the ones he's done for covers. It's just, this is a fantastic addition to your personal collection. Not a spec buy, a personal PC buy right there. Next up is a creepy freaking cover. This is DC Horror Presents issue number 2 with the cover A, done by Tyler Crook. It is just so creepy. The bat crawling out of Batman's mouth, and his eyes are so big. Like, he's like, what is happening? As this thing is coming out of his mouth, that is creepy as all hell. Now, we're almost in the month of November, which means Christmas, and December is like tomorrow, basically. And so we're getting some holiday covers, and I love holiday books and holiday covers. So next up is Spirits of Vengeance, issue number 4, with the holiday variant, done by Sergio Fernandez. You got Ghost Rider on Santa's sleigh with, now he has skeleton reindeer. That is just epic and fantastic, and I love it. Next up is Batman Santa Claus Silent Night Returns, issue number 1 with the cover B variant, done by Dan Mora. Now, I picked up the last series, just regular Silent Night, and it was fun. It was very cheesy and campy, and it wasn't the greatest story of all time, but seeing Batman with Santa Claus was epic. It was so good. Now, there are some other silly covers for this, but there is a really great cover. This is the cover C variant, and it's called the Holiday Surprise Rub and Smell Polybag Virgin variant, done by Dan Hipp. Another cover that I just have to have. It's a cover C, so it's open order, so everyone can enjoy this smell and rub, or rub and smell cover. But if you really look at it, there are so many awesome little teases and what do they call? Easter eggs in the cover that are so good. You got, he's wearing Superman slippers, you got Batman in the background, you got Starro as the star on the tree, and you got just all these little awesome characters throughout the Christmas tree. It is fantastic. Let's continue. Next up, Absolute Batman, issue number 1 with the 3rd print Virgin foil variant, done by Nick Dragotta. This is the cover A for the 2nd print, but as a Virgin foil. Yes, please. I don't like that it's not new artwork, but a foil version. Let's freaking go. Next up, Absolute Batman issue number 1, the 3rd print, cover A, done by Nick Dragotta. This is just a panel from the interiors of the first issue, which is really good. Next up, Absolute Wonder Woman issue number 1 with the 2nd print variant done by Jeffrey Spokes. I like this. I like Jeffrey Spokes a lot. The only thing I don't like about this is that her arm with the bandages, which would be her right arm, looks really long and big, but I don't care. I like this cover a lot. Next up, Absolute Wonder Woman 2nd print Virgin foil variant, and it's the sweet, sweet Jeff DeCall variant. Yes, please. I'll be taking that as well. And that is the last cover. That is my cover lover pick for this weekend's final order cutoff. That's a lot of books to pick up on final order cutoff, but you don't have to pay for them right away. You could just tell your local comic shop you want these so they can order them for you and they can be in your inbox when they come out. But if you want to save up to 20 to 35% off these books, you have to order these books by this weekend, or I should say Monday, November 4th of 2024. Get your orders in, guys. Save that percentage so that way we can buy more comics next week. All right, guys, cover lover picks are over. Let's go ahead and dive into the few books that I found that have a little bit of speculation in the guts. Now, since we're talking about speculation, I gotta remind you guys one more time, do your own research. Check out the Comic Book Frontier Facebook group, link down in the description below, and also coverprice.com, and also Leftero's Instagram influencer extraordinaire. Check those 3 places before you pre-order any of these books. And I'm not suggesting you pick these up. I'm just giving you the information so that way you guys can make your own decisions. So let's dive into the 6 books that I found that have something in the guts. And the first one up is Detective Comics, issue number 1091. Now, this has the first appearance of Asma, a vigilante who kills small-time criminals. I believe his cameo was in 1090. Alright guys, next up is The Amazing Spider-Man issue number 63. Now this is supposed to have the first appearance of Cadillacs in the Crimson Canines, a scion of Cytorak. Cytorak? I'm totally butchering that, I apologize. But yeah, possible first appearances or the first appearances as per the key collector in this issue. But do your own research. Next up, Halvarine issue number 1. Now I put this on the list because this is his first ongoing series right here. This book right here. There's been first appearances in other minis, but this is going to be his first ongoing series right here. And sometimes those first issues can do pretty well on the secondary market in the future. All right, guys, next up is the Infinity Watch issue number 1, which seems like a terrible idea for a book, but maybe it will be good. Now, this is supposed to have the first new Infinity Watch team that includes Star, Colleen Wing, Phil Coulson, which is one of the most underrated, coolest characters, Multitude, Prince of Power, Overtime, and Quantum. All stupid characters, except for Colleen Wing and Phil Coulson. I don't know. Who is buying that book? I don't know. But guys, let me know down in the comments below if that book excites you at all. Next book up is Pet Pool Pool Party, issue number 1, with the first appearance of Cat Pool and the first appearance of Mouse Pool. Are you into pools? That's for you. And the final book is a book that actually sounds pretty cool. This is Ultimate Universe 1 Year In, issue number 1. Now this has a longer synopsis to what I'm going to read, but I'm just going to read you the last paragraph of the synopsis. If you want the rest, you guys can check it out on the internet for yourself. All right, this says, this unique one-shot sets the stage for the 2nd year of the Ultimate line and includes the debut of the Ultimate versions of 2 major Marvel characters. Let me say that again because I stumbled over my words. And includes the debut of the Ultimate versions of 2 major Marvel characters, which could be pretty big, pretty awesome, and interesting. And that cover A looks actually pretty cool in my opinion. I love Nick Fury, and that is so stinking cool. All right, guys, those are all the books that had something in the guts. Let's go ahead and move over to the new number 1s that I think you guys should be excited about because the synopsises, is that a word? Synopsises? I don't know. Sounds so freaking cool. There are 5 new number 1s on this weekend's final order cutoff that I think you guys should check out. You guys should read the synopsis for yourself and really consider picking up these books because I'm excited for each and every single one of them, and I'm going to read the synopsises for you, but maybe, you know, reading them yourselves will help out a little bit. And also, if you go to League of Comic Geeks, type in the titles for these, you'll be able to see all the amazing covers that are available for every one of these comics. This might be a little long, so let's go ahead and dive into the first one, and that is Justice League Unlimited issue number 1. And this is coming from the creative team of Mark Waid and Dan Mora. Let that sink in. Mark Waid, Dan Mora, teaming together again. That is freaking fantastic. It's like magic when they work together. Mark Waid has been crushing it at DC Comics lately. Everything he puts out is just super fun. They're not like the most amazing stories, but every single one is really enjoyable. I even enjoyed a crossover event, and he wrote it. So I guess he's just like hitting on all cylinders. But let's go ahead and read the synopsis for this one. Justice League Unlimited issue number 1. The Watchtower rises. The Justice League is back and bigger than ever. In the wake of absolute power in DC All-In Special, Darkseid's death has triggered a massive power vacuum in the DCU, and Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman must unite like never before and expand the Justice League to encompass every hero championing the forces of good in the face of incredible evil. As our heroes work to uncover the mystery of the Dark Lord's successor, Ray Palmer's Atom Project triggers a race between hero and villain to control the fate of meta-human abilities on planet Earth, which threatens to destroy everything the League has built. Worlds will live, worlds will die, and a surprise is waiting in store on the last page. Do not miss the dawn of a new era of justice. It all begins here. That is really cool. It sounds amazing. It sounds like a Justice League that I can get behind, and the fact that we're going to have a power race for metahuman abilities sounds really, really interesting. And this is going to be drawn by Dan frickin' Mora. Do you need to know more? Also, that dude is really tall. I saw him at NYCC. The dude is a giant. All right, guys. The next book that I'm really excited about is Black Canary, Best of the Best, issue number 1. Diana Lance is just such a cool character, and she's just the Black Canary. She's so freaking cool. Now, this is coming from the creative team of Tom King and Ryan Sook. So Tom King is hit or miss sometimes. I should say every writer really is. Not all the stories land. Not all stories are really incredible. But when Tom King can really swoop in there and tell a really fun, awesome story, it's amazing. So I got high hopes because it's one of my favorite DC characters and it's Tom King. So my fingers are crossed that this is going to be good. Ryan Sook's artwork is also pretty good as well. But let's go ahead and read the synopsis for this. The match of the millennium. It's Black Canary versus Lady Shiva to determine who is the best single, greatest hand-to-hand fighter in the universe. Who will walk away with the title? Find out as writer Tom King and Ryan Sook go 6 rounds to see if our hero has what it takes to be the best of the best. Now, does this sound like a story we need? No. Do I care about who is the best fighter or hand-to-hand fighter in the DCU? No. But I do want to see why he's telling the story, because I'm sure there's a little bit more behind it to why Tom King wants to tell the story. And that is what's got me hooked. All right, guys. Next up, we got Through Red Windows issue number 1. Now, the only reason why I'm excited for this is because of the creative team. It's going to be written by Ron V, and it's going to have art by Joel Jones, and that just seems like a match made in comic book heaven. It's going to be so beautiful to look at, and the story is going to be really, really intriguing. It's kind of like a horror murder mystery type thing. I'm not going to read the synopsis because it is like really long and I don't want to bore you guys. But one thing that has me kind of hesitant is that it is a distillery book. So that's going to be that prestige format book. They're going to be long. These are 48 page, I think. Yes, 48 page specials. They are $8.99, so they are a little bit expensive. I only pay $5.39, I believe, because I ordered through previews. There are some pretty cool covers for this. I'll make sure I show them off while I'm babbling right now. But guys, Ron V, Joel Jones. The second I saw Joel Jones, I'm like, all right, I'll check at least the first issue out and go from there. But guys, the last and final book, that's right, because there's 4, because one book when I made the list yesterday got pushed to next weekend's final order cutoff. So that's why you guys should always double check everything about this video, because I recorded early. The final book is Hornsby in Halo issue number 1. Now, this is coming from the creative team of Peter J. Tasami and Peter, a name I do not know how to pronounce. I'm not even going to try because I will butcher the crap out of it. But this sounds really good and right on my alley, and I'm also really excited about this because Peter J. Tasami wrote the original Super Sons, and that book was so good. Let's read the synopsis for this. Keeping the cosmic peace isn't easy, But the opposing leaders of heaven and hell broker a deal that trades Zachary Halo, an angel child, to a demon family, and Rose Hornsby, a demon child, to an angel family, and hope this truce will halt the winds of war. It's nature versus nurture as the turbulence of adolescence comes crashing down on two teenagers who have no idea just who and what they truly are yet. That sounds awesome. Why? Because teenagers. The fact that there's going to be a demon in an angel who don't know they're demon and angels and they're going through puberty and adolescence all at the same time, that is going to be really cool. And were the parents, the angel parents that are taking care of the demon, able to change who he was as a being? Is he no longer truly just a demon wanting to destroy and do terrible things? And the same thing for the angel. Is he now slightly different, that he's been brought up by demon parents? I don't know, but we're gonna find out in this book, and it sounds really freaking cool. And the other thing, guys, is that this is part of the Ghost Machine imprint. So how cool is that? That means we have to pick it up. It's Ghost Machine, baby, and we pick up every first issue of every Ghost Machine book because we need to support this imprint at Image Comics, because everything they've been putting out has been solid in a home run, so let's freaking go. Those are the 4 books. I said 5, but as I was doing this, I remembered that Gunslingers, or Tales of the Gunslinger Spawn, got delayed to next week. So that is it for today's video, guys. 4 new number 1s, 30 plus cover lover picks, and 6 books that had something in the guts. It's time to end this video. I feel like crap because I got a little bit of a cold and it's really sinking in up here and it hurts like hell on this big old noggin of mine. So let's go ahead and wrap this video up. All right, guys, one more thank you to Chuck over at Forge Syndicate. His YouTube link is down in the description below. That's also his 3D printing business. So guys, check that out. So freaking cool. He's doing like actual statues too. Those are really, really detailed and really, really cool. So Chuck, thank you so much for these. These are freaking awesome additions to the set. And guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I truly appreciate it. And if you watch from the beginning, that first frame of footage, and listen to me babble all the way to this point right here, I just gotta tell you guys, you guys are legends. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. Now, if you guys have not smashed that like button just yet, do me a favor and smash that like button. The view counts are going up. You guys are amazing, and I love every single one of you guys. Or if I was following Stephanie, I should not say love to everything. I really appreciate every single one of you guys so much. It's getting the video out to more people, obviously, but if you guys can get me more likes on the video, it would help even more. Now, last but not least, guys, if you guys watch this video and you guys enjoy comic book content, especially new and future comic book content, and you're not subscribed, what are you doing? Get yourself subscribed, hit that bell for notifications, and smash that like button. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me this week. I'll be back next week again with the Wednesday pull list, your hype video for New Comic Book Day. Have yourself a great weekend. Have yourself a great final order cutoff, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.